Hello guys, and welcome to 1/16 scale RC. I've been recently asked by one of the guys in the RC Builders United Facebook group to give a little bit of detail on the work I did on this Bruder Ausa dump truck. It's quite an interesting little build. I'm not going to actually do a full build video for it, but I'm just going to give some detail around what I actually undertook on the conversion. What I'll do first of all is I'll power the little truck up. So I've got a little power switch on the side, just there, and I'm using the Fly Sky FSI 6X transmitter. So I'll power that up, and you can see she wakes up. So we've got obviously forward, backwards steering, and we've also got tip on the bucket. And also rotate left and right on the bucket. Okay, I'm going to leave it in the tipped position for a minute because I want to be able to show you some detail around the motor arrangement on that tip in action. So what I'll do is I'll shut it off for a second. Okay, so the first thing I like to establish was how much space there was actually within the body of the little dump truck. And it was a bit of a challenge removing this. There's a number of tabs hidden up inside the wheel arches, etc., that you have to get to. In typical Bruder style, it was quite challenging to say the least. Once we've got inside, I could see what available space there was to work with, and I'll just take this apart hopefully so you can see. I'm trying to keep this in line with the camera. Please forgive me if I do get my hands in the way or if I wander off slightly. So take the little Bruder man out of the way first of all. And what you'll find is this body's got a natural joining point here where it can split, and the way to split it is to rock it backwards, opposing each other, and then both sections lift out. That then opens you up to the space that's available inside, and as you can see it's all pretty crammed tight in there, to be fair. I'm actually using Fly Sky 6 channel receiver, a little 1000 milliamp hour Liffey battery, or Liffey, two ESCs in there, and just tucked down underneath there, you might just be able to see the bottom of it, is a little SG90 servo which is mounted upside down because obviously the steering arm is at the bottom and the linkage rod goes into the servo horn. That gives us that steering movement. I replaced the steering arm. I've made a little metal one, just drilled that, a little bit of small round bar on either end, connect it to the servo horn and obviously to the chassis of the truck. That gives adequate steering. It's not overly tight, but it is enough to get you around where you need to go, to be fair. On the bottom side you'll find I've got two, there goes some gravel out the wheel from where I've been using it. What you'll find underneath, I've got two N20 motors. These are 150 RPM with two of your standard surface mounts for those, which I bolted onto a little aluminium plate which is fitted to the bottom of the truck. I actually machined two brass hub receivers there to put the wheels onto, and they just drilled and tapped and the wheels are bolted on, as you can see just in there. That's two little bolts, and that's what gives me the drive on the back end for power. Okay, up in the front section I had to do a cutout here, quite a significant cutout for an SG90 servo to fit into. I used originally a plastic geared servo which I didn't find too successful, so I'm a little bit off on the camera there, apologies. Wasn't too successful because the gearing was a little bit weak and there was a lot of vibrations, so the bucket was oscillating slightly backwards and forwards, left and right. I replaced it with a metal geared Hobby King servo of the same size. This is proving to be quite successful. The important part of this is getting that servo in dead central in line with this plate that rotates there. If you don't, then it's going to jam up, it's going to foul the servo, and the servo quite simply will stall on you. You can see there's a little screw in the middle there that actually screws that upper plate onto the servo mounting point for the horn to go on, and the whole thing rotates based on that servo. Okay, hopefully that's understandable. The tip in action, I've got a 300 RPM N20 motor mounted in a small aluminium bracket, and this was pre me having a 3D printer available. I had to make the aluminium bracket up and drill a couple of holes in the side to allow these screws to fit just into the aluminium up against the motor case, and then using lock nuts to lock them in position to allow that motor to pivot up and down with the action of the bucket. It's a threaded motor, so it's got an M4 thread on there, and all I've done is trim that down to the appropriate length, and I've got a small piece of steel tubing with an M4 thread inside, which is linked to the actual bucket at the top there, as you can see just there. And all that happens is when the motor is powered, the cylinder, as we all know, winds down the thread. That retracts the bucket backwards and forwards, so it's quite simple. Just takes a little bit of setting up. Okay, that's basically the crux of it. As I say, I've used two 20 amp ESCs in the back there. I'm trying to get this in camera again, I apologise. Two 20 amp ESCs over in the corner there. The battery, the receiver's in the bottom, and then that servo in the front there for the steering. And the switch is just simply one of the ESC switches fitted onto the side there. Not a complex build, but fiddly because of the amount of available space that's in there. As I say, it's all quite tight to get together, but hopefully that those who want to know, that might give you a little bit of an insight as to what you need to do to achieve the working model. Done this one especially for Nick on the Facebook group, who asked me specifically if I could do a little video of how to rather than a build. So hopefully, Nick, this will answer some of your questions. Obviously give me a shout if you need any more information or if you're unsure of anything. But again, many thanks for tuning into the channel and watching my videos. I apologise, there's been a bit of a gap between doing videos, but I am currently a little bit up to my eyes in it and some Bruder conversion project stuff. I'm doing some prototyping with my friend and colleague Pete from RC Modders, so bear with us on that one, but I'm sure at some point in the near future we will be able to reveal all the work we've been doing and how hopefully it might help some of you guys out. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.